Birch, the silver healer of the woods. Welcome back. Today we'll talk about the majestic world of the birch tree. This silvery tree has been with mankind since the Ice Age. Its incredible healing and practical properties were so revered that the Nordic people associated it with gods and made protective amulets from its wood. Even the name birch comes from the Indo-European word, meaning bright, white, and shining, perfectly descriptive of its distinctive white bark. So let's shine a light on this beacon of the woods. Our subject today is birch, specifically the medicinal type, Birch herbal, belonging to the Betula species. This sturdy tree graces landscapes across North America and Europe, Russia, Siberia, and China. Its white bark creates a stark contrast to the foliage around it, making it impossible to miss. Preferring colder northern climates, this hardy tree was instantly recognizable and sometimes called the White Lady of the Woods or the Mother Tree, and Native American lore surrounding it was told so often around the fire that even children knew how to identify and respect its cultural and medicinal importance. Besides its incredible healing attributes, it has deeply spiritual and useful applications spanning across the globe. Interestingly, the birch tree was considered to be a symbol to find your way and to bring good fortune to travelers in both Native American and Nordic traditions. Even on two vastly different sides of the world, people recognize that the silvery whiteness of this tree's distinctive bark shone like a beam, even in the darkness of night. And in another bizarre coincidence, both cultures believed that the tree protected you from being struck by lightning. If a person were ever to be caught in a thunderstorm, they knew to seek out a birch tree for protection. In the Americas, the birch tree was as much a utilitarian plant as it was a medicinal aid, and still to this day, it has deep roots in Native American culture and beliefs. Its white bark was shaved off in strips and used as we would use paper to draw maps on. The waterproof quality of the bark was used to insulate boats, houses, containers, and even to wrap the deceased in for burial. And all the way in northern Europe, birch was associated with Freya, the goddess of love and fertility. Cattle were herded with a birch staff to encourage the birth of healthy calves in the spring. The sweet sap, tapped from the tree the same way maple trees are tapped, was used in a great many ways, but especially to make wine from that held great value in trade. But as versatile as it was, arguably, it's the wide range of medicinal uses of the birch tree that inspired such reverence in the people of the past. Birch has a place in both ancient and modern medicine. Back in the day, it was prepared in many ways. The oil that seeped out of the bark when heated was used for skin conditions like rashes, eczema, and even to remove blemishes and freckles. Its effectiveness in treating almost all skin conditions is attributed to its antiseptic and astringent qualities. Younger leaves and shoots were made into a tonic to treat constipation and as a restorative drink for spring when allergies and colds were more common. Mature leaves were steeped in tea and compresses to relieve arthritis and gout, a treatment that still persists to this day. The mature leaves were used to treat kidney stones. The bark, when soaked, became pliable enough to mold over newly set broken bones. When it dried, it became hard again, acting like a cast to keep the bone in place while it healed. Today, the leaves are still used for their anti-inflammatory effect. Its high levels of betulinic acid are the reason for its effectiveness to treat the swelling associated with respiratory diseases like colds, flu, bronchitis, and pneumonia. Besides reducing swelling in the chest, throat, and nasal cavities, the sap also thins mucus, allowing the spasms that cause coughing to expel phlegm more sufficiently. Inflammation in joints caused by degenerative bone diseases like rheumatism, gout, and arthritis are treated for the same reason. The ability to reduce swelling affects the entire body's organs. The kidneys and liver especially are prone to inflammation when under stress, and combined with the mild laxative effect of the younger leaves, It helps these organs that are meant to flush the body of toxins to sufficiently expel impurities when they are under too much strain to do it themselves. Inflammation related to menstrual cramps, gastric conditions like diarrhea, and puffy eyes from seasonal allergies are all lessened with a cup of birch tea. Antipyretic and salicylate properties in birch bark reduce fever and pain. Birch bark tea was the aspirin of the Stone Age, and its use persisted for centuries. It is still used by indigenous groups living in the northern hemispheres today. Though our ancestors might not have known the chemistry behind why the remedies from this majestic white tree worked, the studies conducted today validate their belief in the plant. Birch might have been one of the earliest specimens to be put under a microscope, and it is still intensively studied in labs now. Research has produced very promising results to other, previously unknown treatments derived from the famous tree, from reducing tumor growth, necropsy, bone disease, to treating UV damage to the skin. But how do we use birch? As a tea for starters. When ingesting birch as a treatment, it's usually best consumed warm, and tea is the quickest and most effective way to ingest it. Dried leaves or bark can be steeped in hot water for a detoxifying brew. Birch essential oil, extracted from the bark, can be applied topically to treat skin issues or relieve pain. Additionally, birch sap can be consumed directly or used to make delectable syrups and wine, and used as a sweetener in the place of sugar. Birch shoots are used raw or oven-baked to top off salads. They add a peppery touch to otherwise bland dishes. And leaves, bark, and water are cooked down into a poultice, and dressings soaked in the liquid are wrapped around arthritic joints. Though these compresses need to be warm when applied, be careful to let them cool enough after boiling so that it doesn't burn the skin. Soft, young twigs and leaves can be eaten raw, and the outer bark can be stripped and ground down to make flour. The flour is not particularly tasty, but it was used by the ancients in times of famine and necessity. Thinking of growing birch at home? That won't be likely if you live in warm or tropical climates. All 6 variations of birch need a cold winter, mild spring, and a short warm season. But if you do live in the northern hemisphere, it's perfectly possible. If you have well-drained soil with a pH range of 5.0 to 6.0, they don't require much care once they've taken root properly. Resistant to disease and pests, it's a no-nonsense and easy-to-manage addition to the garden. And for those of you who prefer foraging, birch trees are almost impossible to miss because of their characteristic white, peeling bark. They really do stand out in stark contrast to the surrounding green and brown of the forest. But always remember to forage sustainably. In conclusion, birch is more than just a pretty tree. It's a medicinal powerhouse with potential benefits from pain relief to skin health, detoxification, and immune system support. And historical uses of birch underline its potential, so much so that the scientific community is taking a serious look at the possibilities in medical applications. Used responsibly, birch can bring nature's pharmacy right into your home. So, have you tried birch? Please share your experiences in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the fascinating remedies of the past and the present. Until next time, stay curious, stay green, and keep exploring the magic of nature. Disclaimer: I am not a medical doctor. If you are on chronic medication, pregnant, or suffering from any serious health condition, please consult a medical professional. I am here to relay my own thoughts and opinions. My videos are entirely based on my own research and experiences. As always, safety first. While birch is generally safe, it can cause allergic reactions in some people, particularly those allergic to plants in the Betulaceae family. And its salicylate content can also interact with blood-thinning medications.